You stand at the threshold of your own story, the start of a journey that demands your full presence, your singular focus. Look around and you'll see thousands of voices shouting for your attention, the latest success story, the endless scroll of accomplishments not your own, the seemingly effortless triumphs of others paraded across screens and stages. But ask yourself, what have you built while you were busy watching? While you compared, hesitated, waited for the perfect moment? The truth is this: comparison is the greatest thief of progress. It pulls your gaze off the only thing that truly matters, your own path. Every second spent measuring yourself against another person's timeline is a second you lose in crafting your own masterpiece. The world's greatest architects of destiny, Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Abraham Lincoln, Henry Ford, did not squander their power looking sideways. They looked inward. They bent their will around one burning vision, one unwavering purpose. Imagine for a moment that your mind is the center of your universe. Every thought you harbor, every belief you nurture, is gravity pulling events, people, opportunities toward you. When you relinquish control of your focus, you scatter that gravity. Your energy diffuses into the noise around you, envy, doubt, distraction. But when you reclaim it, when you point that gravitational pull inward, the world reshapes itself, slowly at first, then with unstoppable momentum. From the moment you decide to honor your own vision, life stops happening to you and begins happening for you. Purpose emerges from that singular choice. When Andrew Carnegie left behind the poverty of his Scottish cottage, he carried nothing but a vision so vivid he could taste the iron of his future empire. He didn't compare his prospects to those of more privileged peers, he excavated his own potential. He wrote his first business plan in secret, worked relentlessly in every grimy alley of Pittsburgh, not for applause, but for mastery. And because he focused his mind inward, his name became synonymous with industrial greatness. And consider Thomas Edison's relentless experiments. He could have envied those who'd stumbled onto success faster, but instead he honed his own genius through countless failures. He treated each filament that burned too fast or dimmed too soon not as a reason to quit, but as a clue to refine his vision. His focus wasn't on rival inventors, it was on the blueprint inside his own mind. He understood that greatness springs not from imitation but from relentless personal conviction. Yet, the easiest trap to fall into is not overt distraction but the quiet spiral of self-doubt. We've all asked, why them? Why not me? These questions leak power from your psyche. Ask instead, what is mine to build? Shift your question and you shift your universe. Because your future isn't a byproduct of outer events, it's the direct result of your inner convictions. Your destiny is drafted in the unseen realm of thought long before it materializes in brick, steel, or success. So how do you force that shift? How do you sever the addictive pull of comparison? The answer lies in decisive action anchored by clear intention. When you write down your singular, defining purpose and commit to it, you erect a mental lighthouse. Every choice becomes easier. Every distraction loses its allure. The mind accustomed to sculpting its own reality refuses to be seduced by scattered external benchmarks. Begin today by bathing your mind in clarity. Write your goal specific, measurable, and audacious, or you must see it every hour. Let it burn brighter than any social feed or news flash. Then, take one relentless step toward it, draft a plan, schedule the work, and do it even when your emotions plead for comfort. Because emotion is the fastest follower, not the fearless leader. Action precedes motivation. There was a man named Edwin C. Barnes who arrived at Edison's doorstep with no credentials, no capital, only an unshakable desire to partner with the great inventor. He did not compare himself to Eugene collaborators or resent those with prestigious backgrounds. He boarded a freight train, approached Edison, and declared his dream. He began at the bottom, worked with unyielding purpose, and eventually became inseparable from Edison's success. Barnes teaches us that when you act from the center of your conviction, you attract the opportunities others only envy. This journey demands more than fleeting courage, it demands unbreakable discipline. Discipline is the silent architect of greatness, the daily habit of showing up when you'd rather give in to doubt. Discipline doesn't punish, it empowers. It says, the person I become is more important than the comfort I seek. When your alarm pierces the dawn and your spirit still clings to sleep, discipline carries you to stand at your desk, ready to build. When criticism arrives like a storm, discipline lets you bend, not break, and refocus on the blueprint only you can see. As you wield discipline to guard your focus, you must also harness the furnace of resilience through the alchemy of failure. Every stumble is a footnote in your personal legend, not a full stop. Abraham Lincoln lost his first business, endured crushing defeats in politics, and faced personal tragedies that would sink anyone else. Yet he refused to define himself by those defeats. He rose again, sharper and more certain, until his leadership illuminated a nation. So, transform your pain into purpose. When the world knocks you down, rise with a lesson in one hand and your resolve in the other. The very scars you fear become badges of honor, proof you've crossed thresholds others never dared approach. Let them remind you daily, you're not a victim of circumstance, you're the conscious author of your fate. In this crucible of action, clarity, discipline, and resilience, you forge an unshakable mindset. You will no longer look sideways for validation or measure your worth by another's milestones. Instead, you'll measure progress by your own forward motion, by small victories made each day, by one imperfect step taken without hesitation. Let the only comparison be the distance between who you were yesterday and who you are today. And when you finally clear the fog of doubt and peer beyond the horizon, you'll see the world aligning with your singular focus. Doors will open, not by accident but by design. People will gravitate toward your unwavering purpose, drawn by the gravitational pull of someone who knows exactly how to command their own universe. Now is the time to stop drifting. To cut the chains of comparison. To plant your standard at the epicenter of your own journey. Everything you seek, success, fulfillment, legacy, waits there. Are you ready to claim it?